Episode 2 of the new fan with a few changes and some ideas. Welcome back to the shop and channel and the continuing adventures of replacing the fan in the downstairs bathroom. I did a few measurements, checked a few things out. First thing I did is I connected the fan, hooked up this double wing damper up to it, and found that it doesn't cause any restriction at all. The damper that's in here is just this flat plate, no restrictive damper. It just opens up and then stays in the slipstream flat. So I'm good with that. So I'm going to put this damper and this damper belt and suspenders. The damper slips into a piece of 1/4 inch. I'm not going to put it in all the way now. Tubing, a ductwork like this, and you'll note, as I said earlier, there's a rubber seal here and here that seals it inside the 4-inch ductwork. So I'm going to get this measured up so that it comes to about here. Then slip this in place and then put another piece of 4-inch. Probably going to make this about 18 or 20 inches long. Gives me a lot of play to move this in and out against the wall if I want. It's going out into an empty void, so it doesn't matter. Nothing's going to block it at the other end outside of the house. The distance between the edge of the hole that's in the ceiling right now and the rim joist is 11 inches. So I got plenty of play in there. I'm going to cut probably a 20-inch by joist width hole in the ceiling to do all the work so I can actually get up there and do it. Interesting, it has a hole right here for the wires to come through. It's not made for a standard wire grabber thingy to go in there, but this hole in the sheet metal is actually rolled over and has no sharp edges. So it can go in either way. It can go in with a clamp or with none. And I've already got the Wagyu connectors on place. I don't use wire nuts in anything anymore. I use Wagyu connectors. I like them very, very much. These also, the brackets give me a chance to slide it as facing the wall, slide it back and forth to line it up correctly before I fasten everything down and then test it and then close up the ceiling. So the first thing to do is to cut this ductwork. Now I cut small pieces of ductwork with an angle grinder. I don't use the tin snips because it's really hard to do in a small piece like this. What I typically do, I'm not going to show you this, but I typically do is clamp the grinder in my vise, take the piece and just roll it into it like this to get the shape that I want. I got to measure from here to here, and then measure how much I want to leave on here for this. So let me get busy with that, and I'll put this thing kind of together. Then we'll go whack a hole in the ceiling. A bigger hole in the ceiling. This is what I came up with. So this obviously mounts fan down, like so. This section here goes back in through the hole in the wall, through the rim joist. Has a little bit of flexibility so that I can, move this around if I have to. It still has a really good seal regardless, and I'm going to seal up around the hole, of course, with the foam, which is going to keep humidity from coming around this piece of ductwork. The tool I was talking about for cutting the ceiling open is this. This is a little angled cutting tool for drywall. It has teeth up around here and around this corner, and has teeth under here, so you can put yourself up into the thing, turn it this way, and just run along how you want to cut it. What I want to do is cut to the joists on either side, this way, and about 20 inches in length. I've got a piece of drywall for patching the hole that's 24 by 24. The Home Depot, whatever, sells 24 by 24 pieces of drywall in various thicknesses as patch material. So the first thing I got to do is go into that bathroom and make a lot of noise and make a mess. So let's go make a lot of noise and make a lot of mess and cut a hole in the ceiling. So that time lapse was rather short, and there's kind of a reason for that. So I set up one of my sports cams in the corner of the bathroom on a tripod in the sink, which was not very stable, and I was just going to let it run and do the whole job to where you see in the last picture there, and then cut it down to a time lapse in several time lapse sections to get an idea of putting that thing in the ceiling. Well, that didn't work out very well, because about, I don't know, 45 minutes or so into the video, the camera moved. I didn't see it move. I didn't see that it had moved. So there's about an hour and a half of video looking at this. And that's it. So it's in the ceiling. There's a noticeable difference in the humidity and temperature in that bathroom now, with the foam around the ductwork and all that good stuff. I mean, I didn't get that on camera either, but it's there. You see in this picture, to get the cutout for the patch, and I like to do it all in one piece, I put a piece of tracing paper up on the ceiling and then traced with a Sharpie the cutouts for the ceiling patch. And the way I'm going to mount the ceiling patch into the ceiling is these patch clips. You've probably seen these before. They're really cool. They have these clips right here. Can you see on camera? And what that does, it clips onto your drywall, and that goes like that in the ceiling pieces. And then you put 4, 5, 6 of these in the ceiling, attached to the drywall, and you run a screw through here and it holds it in place. And then you cut your piece out that's going to go in and get it to fit as close as you can, and just hold it up there and drive some screws in. It's got a bunch of these holes that are designed to accept screws, and you mount this up like that. Now, once it's all mounted up in place, before you tape and mud, these metal tabs are notched or cut or stamped right here, so you can just take a pair of pliers and bend these and break them off, so that metal disappears and you just have a clean seam and the screws to cover up. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do the punch technique. I'm going to do tape this down to my workpiece. Tape this down to the drywall on the top face. So the part that faces outward. And this is taped down exactly as it came off the ceiling. So I'm going to take a punch holes all the way around, connect the dots, and cut it out with my reciprocating tool. So let me tape this down and get busy with that. So there you go, all marked out. Going to get the oscillating tool. I'll probably do this outside. There's no reason to show you cutting this thing out because it's cutting drywall. I mean, it's just cutting drywall. And I'll do some shaving on this because there's a little bit of a curve on the bottom here. So, and that's going to go up in the ceiling like that. So, let's go ahead and proceed. Oh, I got it upside down. That doesn't matter. I marked it on the face surface, and I'll be cutting it out and it'll go up like that, but this is going to show, but it doesn't matter. It's going to get painted very nicely. I mean, the paper is basically the same on both sides. So, errors happen, errors can be fixed. Let me go ahead and cut this out, and then we'll see about putting it in the ceiling. I'll try and get a camera up there again so I can maybe get this going on video, but we'll see. And there you go. The patch is in place. It all works. Everything's fine. I'm not going to put mudding and taping and drywall crappy stuff on camera because have you ever mentioned how much I hate hanging drywall? How much I hate doing mud? Hate's a strong word, but man, I really don't like doing that. Now, some may ask, why didn't you square that hole up a little cleaner so that the piece of drywall would go in a little easier? I like a challenge. No actual reason. I just, there's the hole. This is what I need to do. Boom, I stuck it up there. So we're done with this particular video and with this particular project. In the next video, we're going to step back into the 18th century kind of slightly. It was a project that's coming into the shop. It's a modification to a project my wife built, and she wants me to add something to it. So next video is that. So until then, make great things out of wood. And if you like doing drywall, really?